Well, it meant a lot, and not just to me, but the circumstances of me being briefly speaker for 2 months were tragic and completely unexpected when Speaker Ralston, after 13 years as speaker, passed away. But it was important to me once I decided that I would not run to be speaker with the new term, but would remain or run for pro tem, that I do all that I could to make it a smooth transition for the members of the House who represent all of Georgia, and the new speaker, Speaker Burns, who's going to do an awesome job. But the Women's Caucus had a lovely celebration in honor of me being, and it really was more than about me. It was about the role I took on as being the first female speaker. And the 4 women that spoke, 2 Democrats and 2 Republicans, all shared how important this is for young girls and women to realize that all roles are open to their aspirations or should be open to them, and that this in some way, I hope, inspires some of them.
It's historic for Georgia. What feelings do you have about that?
Well, I felt that way somewhat, frankly, when I was elected pro tem 13 years ago. I was the first woman to ever preside. And because a pro tem presides when the speaker is unable to, and I certainly aspired myself to conduct myself in such a way that it reflected well on other women and for young girls who might aspire, whether it's to be speaker or congresswoman or CEO of their own company or a large corporation, that I would serve as an example for them as well.
You've seen the changes over the years with more women coming in. Yeah. What difference has that made here in this building?
Well, I think more than anything, it communicates to Georgia that we really do reflect them in every sense of the word. The one that's most obvious is geographic, because separate from being a female, none of us are neighbors right next door to each other. We all live within our own district. And so most of the time, I think most issues I find are geographic based. What does Metro Atlanta need, or Southwest Georgia? And another layer on that, though, is female, male. We have a growing, more diverse state, and it's certainly evident in those that are elected, and that's a good thing, that we do and should reflect the people back home.
And you've always felt welcome as a woman in this body?
Yeah, I really have. I've never. I do think you have to be a strong woman, you have to hold your own, but I would say that's true of a male too down here. But I have not felt held back because I'm a female.
I want to talk about the fact that you came in at the same time as Speaker David Ralston. He wasn't speaker at the time, of course, but you both came in to the General Assembly at the same time. Talk about that journey for the two of you, and then moving up in leadership.
Yes, so we worked together for 20 years and came in together after redistricting in 2003. And after, I guess it was 2 years, when Republicans took control, he became a chairman, and so did I. And we worked together as equal colleagues. In 2010, when there was a change in the speaker, and the speaker and the pro tem retired, he ran for speaker and prevailed. I ran for pro tem and prevailed, and we really, kind of worked hand in hand. I thought of him as my friend, and really in many respects like a brother. That we came from different parts of the state, but I always felt that he welcomed my perspective, and I appreciated that in him.
It's quite a journey for the two of you together, and so I know it's been pretty bittersweet coming back into this building.
It has been.
This week. You've got to move on, though, and I think the last 2 days have shown us that there's a smooth transition with you and Speaker Burns. Let's talk about where we move from now, from here, in terms of priorities. What are some of the things?
Well, you know, and Speaker Burns will have his priorities. You know, I'm so looking forward to working with him in his new role. He was the first person to nominate me for Speaker Pro Tem 14 sessions ago now. And so he's a good man. He's going to do a good job. And that was why I was happy to support him in this role and in the election. I think, you know, we're gonna build on what we've been doing. You know, it's very simple. It's certainly in my area, and I think all over the state, people care about good schools, good educational opportunities. They want good jobs, and they want safe communities. And almost every issue can be filtered or can be sorted and sifted into one of those three categories. Good schools, I anticipate that we'll build on some of the mental health achievements of the last couple years with the leadership of Speaker Ralston. And I think you'll see even more support from more counselors in the schools. More opportunities for students who are at risk of dropping out so that they have more options while they're, you know, in public school to complete and get their high school degree and become a part of this workforce issue that we have, where we don't have enough trained workforce. And so we need to, frankly, I don't think we've done a really good job in that category, and we need to enhance that and boost it up. And some of us in the House are working very diligently on that issue, and you'll learn more about that in the next week. But with regards to safe communities, we've certainly made progress there, but we need to double down on supporting our law enforcement with additional judges, which then means more DAs, assistant DAs, boost the crime lab, so that give them the tools so that they can keep our communities safe.